everyone, it's Nadia from YARNutopia. Today we are making this fabulous masterpiece, the Gigi cardigan. The supplies we need today are all Red Heart Super Saver yarn, and then there's also a skein of Red Heart with Love. I'm using, for my main color is black, and I used 2 skeins of this Red Heart Super Saver Jumbo, which is 744 yards. So I used 2 skeins of this, and then I used less than 300 yards of each of the rest of the colors. So the rest of my colors, this one is buff, this one is warm brown, this one is medium thyme, and then this one is the Red Heart with Love yarn, and it's berry red. And then that last color is Red Heart Super Saver, and that is buff. So if you want to use the same colors as me, you can. Otherwise, you can use any size 4 medium worsted weight yarn. So this is medium 4 here. Worsted weight yarn. You can use any yarn that you like. But I used, I'll put all the yardage that I used in the blog, so make sure to check out the links in the description of this video. I'll have the link to the blog where you can get the free written pattern as well as all the questions you need answered, you know, for sizing and for yardage and everything. This cardigan took me about a week to make, and I had a few projects working as well, like along with it. So if you worked on this continuously, it'd probably take you 3-4 days maybe. So it's a pretty quick project. It's just a bunch of squares and a lot of sewing. For making bigger sizes, I would recommend making these squares bigger. So one square, if you go from rounds 1 through 6, it measures 6 inches across. Okay, and that's basically the gauge of my project as well. So one square is 6 inches across, and that should be your gauge as well. Otherwise, if you need it to be bigger or smaller, if you wanted to make it smaller, I would go with a smaller hook size, maybe a G size hook. This hook size we are using in this project is an H size hook, which is 5 millimeters. So make sure that you have that handy. If you wanted to make this smaller, like I said, the only suggestion I could have is that you use a G size hook, which is 4.75 millimeters. Otherwise, if you want to make this bigger, you can make more rounds so you can make 7 or 8 rounds on the squares, or you can make this using a larger hook, like a 5.5 millimeter, which is an I size hook. So you can do that. Also, let's see here, what other questions would you have? Oh, for the collar and for the sleeves, I show in this video how to do a certain amount, but you can make it longer or shorter, or you don't even have to have one. And then also for the sleeves, you can make them, the cuffs on the sleeves, you can make them longer or shorter, and I show that in the video. We are making these in, we're making all the squares and then we're sewing them together. I have a diagram over here that I had drawn out. I will take pictures of that and have that posted on the blog. That is just the back side showing, but I also have a written up thing of the pattern or on the for the front side. So we're making all of our squares, and then we are sewing them together, and we're sewing 2 front panels. So we're doing the right side and then the left side, and then we are also sewing the back side, and then we are sewing the 3 pieces together once they are 3 pieces. So I have that, and then we're making a slit on the side here, so we are not sewing that. There is an option I show in the video that you can close this and you can sew this completely up, but I liked that little extra detail and that fashionable little extra thing there, so I'm having that slit open. And then also another supply that we would need is buttons. I have buttons here, and I show you how to make these little button holes on our project, so we have that. Now these buttons are so fabulous. I got them at the Etsy shop, Would Be Fancy. I'm making a shameless plug here because these buttons are so awesome. They're handmade, and these specific ones are hand painted. So I'll put the link in the description of this video to that shop. You can get these exact buttons. If they're not on that shop, you can ask for a custom order request, and you can have these ones specifically made. There are awesome wooden buttons on that shop, and you can purchase your buttons there. So there's that. Also, supplies we need are scissors and yarn needle, because these will save your life in this project, I swear. It is going to be a lot of tedious sewing and cutting and sewing in our ends and everything like that. So scissors and yarn needle are a must-have in this project. I'm trying to think of all the other questions you may have, but if you have any other questions, just leave a comment to this video. The best way to get in touch with me, though, is through the Facebook fan page. I'll put all the links in the description of this video. I'll put a link to the blog where you can find out where to get the written pattern, as well as the Facebook page. Make sure that you join me on Facebook, and if you make this, I would love, love, love to see your work. Like, if you make this, I want to see your pictures because these are so fabulous. Share it on Facebook, share it on Instagram. Be sure to hashtag YARNutopia so that I can see your work. Follow me on Instagram. I'll put my link in the description of this video. Also, follow me on Snapchat. I'll put my username in the description of this video so you can see what I do on my free time when I'm crocheting or when I'm not crocheting. So I'll put that there. Also, subscribe to my channel here on YouTube, and if you go to my channel on YouTube here, just go to on the right hand side of my channel, there is a blue button that says support. Be sure to click that support button and support us so we can keep bringing you fabulous crochet tutorials. Also, I do get quite a few questions on what nail polish I'm using in my videos, so today I'm using Sinful Colors, and this one is called C'est La Vie. So if you want to get like me and get this nail polish color, you can get that. I just got it at the department store, so it's a lovely color. And lastly, I want to thank my dad, Fuad Azmat, for taking the time out to make this video with us. He is our videographer, photographer, and editor of this video. And I did end up making extra squares, so I ended up sewing a bunch of these together and making a scarf to match. So we just sew these together just like how I show in the video tutorial how to sew these together. I just sewed a bunch more squares together and made a long scarf. So I don't have a video tutorial for this specific scarf, but it's super easy. Just make your squares like you would for the cardigan and then just sew them together in a line. It's that simple. And I'll put that on the blog, so check that out. But without further ado, let's get started in making the Gigi cardigan. Alright, so I'm demonstrating number 9 granny square for this project. So start out with the medium thyme color and make your slip knot. So put the short end over the long end, fold that down, and then pull that through and pull tight. Insert your hook and we're ready to go. To start out, we have to chain 4, so yarn over and pull through 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then in the 4th chain from the hook we are going to put 11 double crochets. So the loop that's on your hook never counts as anything, so count 1, 2, 3, and 4, and we're going to yarn over, go into that chain, yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through 2 loops, and then yarn over and pull through the last 2 loops on your hook, and that is a double crochet. So we have to make 11 of those. So that was 1, then yarn over, go back into that chain, yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through 2 loops, and then yarn over and pull through the last 2 loops. So that's 2, yarn over, go back into that chain, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. That's 3. This is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Okay, so you can kind of see I'm working in a circular form, and now we're back to the beginning here, and you can see that this looks like a chain up 3, which does count as our first stitch. So in total, including this chain up 3 right here, it should look like you have 12 stitches. So count with this chain up 3, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we're going to go to that chain up 3, go to the very top here, insert your hook right at the top of that chain up 3, then yarn over and pull through, and that is a slip stitch. So we are going to just slip stitch to the beginning chain up 3 of that round, and there you have round 1 is complete. If you are not changing color at this point, just chain up 3 and go on to round 2 with us. But I am going to change color at this point, so I'm just going to chain up 1 and cut my yarn and continue pulling that through and then pull tight. Then I'm going to insert my hook back into that chain up 3 stitch, that first stitch of this round right here, and I'm going to grab my next color, which is black, and I'm going to hook that onto my hook just like this, and then pull that through, and then I'm going to chain up 3, 1, 2, 3. Now for round 2, we have to do a beginning cluster stitch in this first stitch here where we just attached to. So a beginning cluster stitch is yarn over, go into that stitch, so that same stitch that we just attached our yarn to, we're just going to go right in there, then yarn over and pull through, then yarn over and pull through 2 loops, hold it, yarn over, go back into that stitch, yarn over and pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, go back into that stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, so now you have 4 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over and pull through all 4 of those loops. Then we are going to chain 1. Okay, so that is our beginning cluster stitch. Now we are going to, let's see here, go right into this next stitch here for our next cluster. So we are going to yarn over once, go into that stitch, this very next stitch here, yarn over, pull through 2, then yarn over, go back into that stitch, yarn over, pull through 2, then yarn over, go back into that stitch, yarn over, pull through 2, so now you have 4 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over and pull through all 4 of those loops and then chain 1. Okay, then hop to the next stitch right here. We're going to make another cluster, so yarn over, go into that stitch, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, then yarn over, go into the stitch, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, then yarn over, go back into the stitch, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So you have 4 loops on your hook now. You're going to yarn over and pull through all 4 loops on your hook, and then chain 1. Again, yarn over, go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, go in, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, go in, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and then yarn over and pull through all 4 loops on your hook, and then chain 1. So just continue working that same pattern all the way around, and then I'll meet you up and we'll go on to round 3 together. Alright, I'm just finishing up round 2 here. So you should have 12 cluster stitches and 12 chain 1 spaces. So when you're finishing this round, you want to slip stitch to the beginning cluster stitch. You don't have to slip stitch to this chain up 3 here. Just chain up to the slip stitch to the beginning cluster stitch just by inserting your hook, yarn over, pull through, and pull through. Okay, so at this point, if you are not changing color, slip stitch into this next chain 1 space and chain up 3 and go on to round 3 with me. But I'm going to change color at this point, so I'm just going to chain up 1 and cut my yarn and then continue pulling that through and pull tight, and then I'm going to insert my hook right in this first chain 1 space, or you can insert it into any chain 1 space around, but I'm just going to go right into this one right here, and I'm going to grab my next color, which is this Aran color. There we go. And I'm just going to hook it onto my hook and pull that through, and then chain up 3, 1, 2, 3. And now we are going to do a beginning cluster stitch into this first chain 2, or just chain 1 space right here. So yarn over, go into this chain 1 space, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So you have 4 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over and pull through all 4 loops on your hook. Okay? Then we're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and then we're going to cluster stitch into this next chain 1 space right here. So yarn over, go into that chain 1 space, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and then yarn over and pull through all 4 loops on your hook, and then chain 2. 1, 2. Again, next chain 1 space, we're going to put our cluster stitch. Okay, 4 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through all 4 of those loops, and then chain 2. 1 and 2. And just repeat that all the way around. In each chain 1 space, we're going to put a cluster and then chain 2 in between each one. And then I'll meet you up at the end of this round, and we'll go on to round 4 together. Alright, when you're finishing round 3, just make sure to chain 2 and then slip stitch to the beginning cluster stitch right here at the top. Just insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, and through. Now if you are not changing color at this point, just slip stitch into this chain 2 space and chain up 3 and go on to round 4 with me. But I am going to change color at this point, so I'm just going to chain 1 at this point and just cut my yarn and pull that through and pull tight, and then insert my hook into this next chain 2 space and grab my new color, which is buff, and pull that through. Just hook that on my hook, pull it through, and then chain up 3. 1, 2, 3. And we are going to put a cluster stitch right in the same chain 2 space. So yarn over, go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and go in, and yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and then yarn over and pull through all 4 loops on the hook. There's our beginning cluster. Now we are going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then hop to the next chain 2 space and make a cluster stitch. Okay, I'm sure you know how to make clusters now. We made a few in the past few rounds. Cluster stitch in there. And now we're only going to chain 2. Okay, so this chain 3 space is going to be our corner. And then we're just going to chain 2, 1, 2, hop to the next chain 2 space and make a cluster stitch in there. Okay, and then chain 2, 1, 2, and then make a cluster stitch in the next chain 2 space. Okay, and then we're going to chain 3. So 1, 2, 3. Then we're going to make a cluster stitch in this next chain 2 space, and that would finish our second corner. So this is our second corner right here. Then chain 2, 1, 2, and make a cluster stitch in the next chain 2 space. Okay, and then chain 2, and then make a cluster stitch in the next chain 2 space. And then we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, And then we're going to hop to the next chain 2 space and make a cluster stitch in there. And then we're going to chain 2, 1 and 2, and put a cluster stitch in the next chain 2 space. And then we're going to chain 2 and put another cluster stitch in the next chain 2 space. Okay, at this point we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3 to make our last corner, and we're going to cluster stitch in the next chain 2 space. Alright, now we're going to chain 2, 1 and 2, and in this last chain 2 space we're going to put our cluster stitch, and then we're going to chain 2, 1 and 2, and slip stitch to the beginning cluster stitch of this round. So right at the top there, just insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, and pull through. Now if you're not changing color, just slip stitch in the chain 3 space and go on to round 5 with me. But I'm going to change color, so I'm going to yarn over once and pull through, cut my yarn, pull it all the way through, pull tight. Insert your hook into any of the chain 3 spaces. So any one of these corners, I'm going to stretch this out a little bit, it's kind of giving me a little bowl shape. So stretch that out and then put your hook into any chain 3 space of this round and grab your new color, and in my case it is burgundy. Hook that on your hook, and we can go on to round 5. We need to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And now we are going to put 2 treble crochets in the same space here. So treble crochet is yarning over twice, going into that space, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and then yarn over and pull through those last 2 loops. That's a treble crochet. So let's do it again. We have to put another one in there. So yarn over twice, go into that space, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 more loops, and then yarn over and pull through those last 2 loops on your hook. Okay, so we just made 2 treble crochets, and this chain up 4 counts as our first stitch, which would be considered a treble crochet. So now we have to chain 2, so yarn over, pull through 1 and 2, and then we're going to put 3 more treble crochets back into the same corner space. So yarn over twice, go back into that space, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Okay, so that was 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so essentially in the corner we have 3 trebles, chain 2, and 3 trebles. Okay, now we are going to chain 1, yarn over, pull through, just like that. And then in this next space, this next chain 2 space, we are going to put 3 double crochets. So double crochet is just yarning over once, going into that space, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, and we're just going to put 3 of those in there. Just like that. Then we are going to chain 1, and we are going to put 3 double crochets in the next chain 2 space. So yarn over once, go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, so we're just putting 3 double crochets in there. Then we are going to chain 1, and in this next chain 3 space we are going to make our corner. So we're going to yarn over twice because we're going to put 3 treble crochets in there. Go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. Okay, so yarn over twice, go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. yarn over twice, go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. Then we're going to chain 2, 1 and 2, and then go back in for 3 more treble crochets in that corner space. That's that chain 3 space there. Just like that. Then we're going to chain 1, hop to the next chain 2 space right here, and put 3 double crochets in there, which is just yarning over once, going in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So those are 3 double crochets in there, chain 1, put 3 double crochets in the next chain 2 space, and then we'll be at our next corner, so chain 1, and put your 3 treble crochet, chain 2, and 3 treble crochet in this corner right here. Okay, 1, 2, and 3 more treble crochets. 1, 2, and 3. And then just repeat what we've been doing. So chain 1, put 3 double crochets in this next chain 2 space. Whoopsie. Oh my goodness, there we go. 1, 2, 3, chain 1, 3 double crochets in the next chain 2 space, then chain 1, and make your last corner here, so 3 treble crochet, chain 2, and 3 treble crochet. And then just finish off your last side like we've been doing, and then I'll just meet you up when I'm finished with this round and we'll go on to the next round together. Alright, so I'm finishing round 5, chain 1, and slip stitch to the chain up 4 here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Right at the top here, just insert your hook, then yarn over and pull through and through. Okay, now if you're not changing color, slip stitch in the next 2 stitches and then slip stitch into this chain 2 space, this corner space, and chain up 2 and go on to round 6 with us. But I'm going to fasten off at this point and change my color, so I'm just going to chain 1, cut my yarn, and pull that through. And then you can insert your hook, if you're changing color, insert your hook into any corner space and hook on your new color. In my case it's black. This is going to be your main color of your cardigan, so I would suggest doing black, but you can do whatever color you want to make your own. So then chain up 2, 1 and 2, and then put 2 more half double crochets into this space. So half double crochet is a yarn over, go into that space, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on your hook. Okay, that's a half double crochet. So we're going to do that again, yarn over, go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. Okay, then we're going to chain 2, 1 and 2, and put 3 more half double crochets into this corner space. So yarn over, go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on your hook, and do that for 3 more stitches. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay, then we are going to chain 1, hop over to this next chain 1 space, and put 3 half double crochets in there. Okay, so half double crochet again is yarn over, go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. Just like that. So we're putting 3 half double crochets in this chain 1 space, then chain 1, hop over to this next chain 1 space and put 3 half double crochets in there, and then chain 1, hop over to the next chain 1 space and put 3 half double crochets in there. Okay, and then chain 1, and now we're at our corner, and in the corners we're going to put 3 half double crochets, 1, 2, and 3, then chain 2, 1, 2, and 3 more half double crochets in there. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, now we're on our next side, so we're going to chain 1 and put 3 half double crochets in this next chain 1 space. 1, 2, 3. Then chain 1 and hop to the next chain 1 space and put 3 half double crochets in there. Then chain 1, hop to the next chain 1 space and put 3 half double crochets in there. Then chain 1, and in the corners we're putting 3 half double crochets, chain 2, and 3 half double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, chain 2, and 1, 2, 3. Okay, then chain 1, hop to the next, so we're on this next side here. You know what to do, just put 3 half double crochets in the next chain 1 space. Then chain 1, 3 half double crochets in the next chain 1 space. Then chain 1, 3 half double crochets in the next chain 1 space. Chain 1, and now we're at the next corner, so we're going to put 3 half double crochet, chain 2, and 3 half double crochet. And then I'm going to finish my last side and I'll meet you up when we're ready to fasten off. Alright, when you've finished, just make sure you chain that 1 and then slip stitch to the beginning, chain up 2 of this round, so 1, 2, right at the beginning or the top there. Just insert your hook, then yarn over, pull through, and pull through. Okay, and now at this point we're going to fasten off, so we're just going to chain up 1, but we want to cut off the yarn a little bit longer, so for sewing, because we're going to use this for sewing later. So I'm just going to cut it a little bit long and then trim that and continue pulling then that all the way through and pull tight. Okay, so that our square is complete. So now this, like I said, this was color combination number 9. I will show you all the color combinations that we have, and I will also have a photo of these on the blog so you can get that information, and also I will have the color combinations written out if you want to make yours exactly like mine. So this is square number 1, so we have burgundy, warm brown, Aran, buff, warm brown, and black for that one. For square number 2, we have warm brown, buff, Aran, medium time, and black. Then for square number 3, we have, this is buff, black, Aran. This is the berry red. Let me make sure I have that correct. This is the one that's with love. Yes, berry red and buff and black. Okay, all of mine are outlined in black here. Number 4 is buff, Aran, medium time, buff, Aran, black. Number 5, granny square, is Aran, berry red, buff, black, Aran, black. Number 6, granny square, is buff, berry red. This is the, I want to say warm brown, sorry, warm brown, and then berry red, Aran, and black. Number 7 is, let's see here, black, burgundy, Aran, medium time, buff, black. Number 8 is medium time, black, buff, Aran, buff, black. And number 9 is the one we just made, and that is medium time, black, Aran, buff, berry red, and black. So these are all 9 combinations, and for these numbers, so number 1 square, you want to make 6 of those. Number 2 square, you want to make 6 of those. Number 3 square, you want to make 6 of those. Number 4 square, you want to make 7. Number 5, you want to make 7 squares of those. Number 6, you want to make 7 of those. Number 7, we're going to make 7 of these. Number 8, you're going to make 7 of these. And number 9, you're going to make 7 of these. So in total, you will have 60 squares combined, like with all of them. So you don't have to make this specific color combination. If you want to, that's awesome. But if you want to do your own color combination, just make sure you have enough of each square to make this project. So again, numbers 1, 2, and 3, you're going to have 6 squares of each of those. And then numbers 4 through 9, you're going to have 7 squares of each of these. Okay, so you can make all 60 squares. And once you have finished all 60 squares, make sure that you fasten off with a long tail on all of these, because we will be using these for sewing to each other, and we're going to be using whip stitching to sew these all together. So just make all of your squares, and like I said, I'll have all this information in the blog, but once you're finished with all your squares, we'll meet up and we will start attaching our squares to make our cardigan. Alright, so once you have all 60 squares done, this is kind of like what my setup is. I labeled each square which number they were and then how many of each I have. So, but I'll have all that information in the blog, so I'll have photos of what number 1 looks like, what number 2, what each square looks like, and then how many of each square I have, so that you can see my color combinations. But once you have all 60 squares done, you can choose to block these squares if you'd like. I know a lot of my squares have turned kind of a bowl-ish shape, so I just like stretched them out a little bit, kind of laid them flat. You can spray them with some type of water and then block them. And there's videos out there to show you how to block pieces like this, but you can do that on your own. So once you have all 60 squares finished, we are ready to put them together. I made this draw up here with a ruler and some just a marker here, and this is kind of how I want it to set up. So I show where the squares need to go. This is the front, and then I have each square number where I want to put that square. You don't have to do this exact mock-up where you want your squares to be, but I'll show a photo of this on the blog as well, so you can get the front part, and then I'll show you the back in just a second here. So I have squares number 9, 4, 7, and then 1, 6, 8, 5, 6, 9, etc. So you can see the numbers and where each square goes, and then once we attach all of our squares, we are going to make a collar, we are going to make side edging here, and then we are going to make edging here for buttons. We're doing buttonhole side and then button side, and then we're also making cuffs on here to make it more closed off onto the wrist, so it's more tighter around the wrist. So we're going to do that. And then, so this is the front view, so I'll show you my back view is different here. So the back view looks like this. So we're doing 4 panels like this of 6 squares, and then our sleeves. Now for my sleeves, I wanted the sleeves to be the same on each side. So 3 and 3, 2 and 2, 5 and 5 on the back side, and on the front side 7 and 7, 4 and 4, 9 and 9. Okay, so I have all of these all the same, and then all of these, let's see, starting here and here, all these the same. Okay, but you don't have to do that, it's really up to you. And then also then this middle part here, there's 24 here, and then these front ones here, I am doing all eclectic. So the front ones here do not match this section here. So it's really eclectic. You can use whatever combination you want, but I will have photos of this mock-up and this mock-up on the blog so you can use the pictures for yours if you want to make the same exact as me. So let's just get started in sewing these together and making our pieces. So we're going to start with the front, okay? And what we want to do, I'm going to first start from this side here, okay? And we are going to start with this panel. So we're going to take number 6, 5, 9, 3, 7, and 2, and we're going to sew all those together. And then we're going to sew this panel together, and then we're going to sew this panel to this panel, okay? So we're going to sew each one individually, and then sew one long line across here. So I'll show you how to do that. Let me grab my color combination, and we'll be right back to sew them together. Okay, so I have my squares all laid out right here, okay? And I have it as, this one is number 6, this one's 5, 9, 3, 7, and 2, okay? And on here it is this panel right here, okay? So I'm making that panel, and you want to have all your long stragglers at the bottom of each square, so facing the down, because then this top one, we'll use this one for sewing to this one, we'll use this strand to sew to this one, we'll use this strand to sew to this one, and so on and so forth. So to do so, we gotta take our yarn needle and yarn our needle, okay, and then we are going to take the wrong sides, so the bottoms, like this, and sandwich these together like this. And you want to make sure that you start in this corner here. So if you fasten up a little bit over here, you just want to go back and forth a little bit on this square right there. Okay, so you're in the corner. Okay, then we're going to go around and around, basically just whip stitching like this. So we're going to always go from this side to this side. Okay, and we're just going to go in the corresponding stitches. Okay, so right in this corner here, you want to make sure that it lines up. So these stitches all match up to those, just like that. So make sure that this one lines up to this one. And we're just going to go in from this side, going out to this side. Okay, in from this side, out to this side. Okay, and then in the chain 1 space here, you can just go through the chain 1 spaces. Okay, and then on this stitch to this stitch. So we're just going around and around and around and around, basically. And that is called whip stitching. Okay, so I'm just going to whip stitch across this piece, and then I'll show you how to fasten off, and then we'll sew on to the next. Alright, once I get to this corner here, I just want to go into the corner and into this corner. Whoops. Just like that. And then to fasten off, I'm going to go into the corner stitch, or the corner chain, and then this corner chain, just like that. And then I'm going to hold up a loop, kind of like inserting my finger in there and while I'm pulling. And then I'm going to go around it, and then I'm going to put my needle through there and pull that through to kind of make a knot and pull tight. Okay, then we want to sew in this end to hide it. So we're just going to go back in through this part underneath our sewing stitches. and as far as you want, just to hide that end, and then cut any straggler and stretch that out so it is completely hidden, and there you have it. We sewed together our first squares. So now we want to go on to the next and yarn our needle and just sew these together. Remember, putting them up against each other like this, and then corresponding the stitches together. So we're in this chain 2 corner here, and we're just whip stitching across in the corresponding stitches, just like that. So I am going to sew together my whole panel, and then I'll show you how to, we'll meet up when I go to the next panel, and then I'll show you how to sew the 2 panels together. Alright, so now we're back, and I sewed all these together in these, between them, just like this. Okay, each one of them. And now, once you get to the end here, there's going to be this straggler here. So we're just going to sew this one in and then just trim it off. This is going to be the bottom of our cardigan. So what I usually just do is just go down behind the stitches and just sew in our ends. Just like that. In the corresponding color, of course. Okay, and once it's all sewn in, I'm just going to cut that and then stretch it out so it is completely hidden. And there we have it. So one strip is done. So now on the diagram there, it shows that we have done 6, this one right here, 6, 5, 9, 3, 7, and 2. So now we're going to do this panel exactly like we did this panel here. Okay, so I'm going to grab these corresponding colors, square number 1, 8, 6, 4, 8, and 1, and then I'm going to sew them together just like how we did this one here, just like this. Okay, and once I have that done, then I'll come back and I'll show you how to sew the 2 panels together. Alright, so I just needed squares 1, 8, 6, 4, 8, and 1. So now I have all of those lined up here, just like this. So this is the bottom of my cardigan, and then this is going up to the top. So this is 1, 8, 6, 4, 8, and 1. Okay? And then we're just going to do it exactly like we did with the other panel, is just taking our straggler that we had cut long enough for sewing, and we're just going to whip stitch this. So we're putting the 2 wrong sides together, so we're kind of just going like this, and just going into the corresponding stitches, and just going from this side to this side. Okay, and just going around in circles basically until we get to the very end. And make sure that you just go in the corresponding stitches, and then once you go all the way across, you want to make sure that you're just going into the chain 1 spaces there. Okay, so I'm just going to sew this across, and then I'll just meet you up when I get all the way across, and I'll show you how to fasten this off, and then we'll go on to the next square. Alright, I'm just going to show you this again. So I'm just finishing this edge here, and then you just want to go into a couple of stitches there, hold your finger into the loop, and then go from this side over, and then pull tight so it knots it. And then I decided that I'm going to sew in this end on the underside, so on the back side. You can sew that in just to hide it, just to hide your stragglers there. Just sew it in underneath the stitches, and then pull tight, cut that straggler, and then stretch that out, and there you have it. So do that exact thing, just whip stitching all the way across for the rest of the squares, and then once I have this panel done, then we can sew those two panels together. So we'll be sewing then this together down this middle here. So once I have this panel finished, I am going to meet you back up and we will sew this together down this seam, and then we will add our sleeves. Alright, so I just finished our second panel here. So this is 1, 8, 6, 4, 8, and 1. And then I'm bringing my other panel that our first panel that we made, and we're going to put number 6 next to number 1, okay? So now they are together, and now we want to seam up this middle part here, okay? So how to do that? I'm going to take the yarn from my ball of yarn, okay, and I'm going to yarn my needle with that, okay, and then we're just going to kind of do it across here, just matching up these sides, okay, and just like how we sewed this part together, we're going to sew it along this whole middle here. Okay, so we're going to make our panel. So just starting in the corner, and you can go from either side. We're just whip stitching, so I'm just going to go from here, and you want to pull out a lot of yarn because we are going to go all the way down the edge, or this middle section here, I guess. So pull quite a bit of yarn, and then this is going to be a little bit of a tedious project or process in this area because you're just going through each stitch and then there's so much yarn to pull, but I promise it is totally worth it in the end, and we'll have a beautiful piece. So you have this part of the yarn just hanging out, and that is attached to the ball of the yarn. So I'm just going to leave that until the very end when I tie both ends off. So I'm just going to continue working along here. Once I get to this part right here, I will meet you up and I'll show you how to attach the four corners area right here. So I'll get through this part and then I'll meet you up when I'm right here. Alright, so I'm coming up on the corner here. I just have to get this last stitch. There we go. Okay, so I'm at the corner spaces here, so you can see the two corner spaces right here and then these two corner spaces here. So what we're going to do is go into this corner space, these two layers, like that, and sew those together. And then we're going to go into this from here, this middle here where we sewed this part. We're just going to go in somewhere wherever our needle fits, and then go into the other side as well. So where we were sewing, where we did our whip stitches on this side and our whip stitches over here, we're just going to sew that middle part together as well. Okay, and then we're going to just do the stitching in this corner here. We're just going to go in and then come out this corner here, so both layers, like that. Okay, so just around those two. And that's how we're going to do every corner, every connecting corner part. So this part here, we're going to do it in these corner layers here, then in the whip stitching part here, the sewing part, and then in these two corners, these two layers here, these two corners, like that. Okay, so just do that and then just go into each stitch, corresponding stitches in both layers all the way across, and then once you finish sewing these two panels together, then we will sew on the sleeve. Alright, so I just sewed my entire panel pieces together. Okay, so now I'm just going to finish up here and just finishing off like we've been doing, just going through some of the stitches at the end here, putting my finger through the loop and then putting it through like that, and then pulling tight, and then I just like to go flip it to the wrong side and then go into the stitches to sew in my end, just to hide that on this end here. so that's hidden. And then I'm going to cut that and then stretch it out so that is completely hidden. Okay, and then we still have this end here that is attached to our ball of yarn. So what we need to do is first off chop that and then yarn our needle with that end there. Okay, and now we're just going to basically do what we did on the other end. We're going to do that here. So go back around into the chains, into the stitches, like that. Hold that loop and come back around and go through that, and then pull tight. Then pull it to the wrong side and just go in underneath the stitches, just like that. Okay, then cut that, stretch it out so it is completely hidden, and there you have it. Our panel is done. So now, this is what it looks like. This is what it will look like. This is what that looks like. Okay, so this, we just made this section here. So now we have to add these 3 squares on this side of our work right here, going off this part here. So we need number 7, 4, and 9. So let me grab those real quick. 7 is going to go right here. Number 4 is going to go right here. And number 9 is going to go right here. Okay, so you can see here my stragglers are over here now, facing this way, because I'm going to be sewing this one to here, this one to here, and this one to here. Okay, so I'm going to sew those all off camera and just basically sew them like you did these panels here. And then once I finish with that, I will meet you back up and I'll show you how to do the other side. Alright, so I just sewed on these 3 squares here. So this is the sleeve. So this is what your work should look like now. Okay, so you can see here all this like that. Okay, and if you see the diagram, that is this side right here. Okay, so now I actually ended up making that next side off camera, but I want to, it's sewing together exactly like this side, except you're putting the sleeve on this side now. Okay, so if you make the opposite side, just make sure that the sleeve is going opposite ways. So this is what the front is going to look like. So we got this panel done and this panel done, and then the sleeves over here. Okay, there's the sleeve on this side and then the sleeve on this side. So this sleeve, if you look at the diagram, we have this sleeve right here. Right here is this part right here. Okay, so that is this side. So all you need to do is just sew this panel, then this panel. It just basically repeat what we did for this panel, but then sew your sleeve on the opposite side so that it looks like this. Okay, so we have both sides done, the front part. Now we have to make the panels for the back, and you're basically just making the panels for the back like this. So we have our back, we're making this whole part right here, and then we are going to add the sleeves on after. So I'm going to set that up there, and then I ended up, so you just have to basically make those 4 panels like how we did these panels here, and then obviously you're just going to sew down the middle too, because all 4 of those panels are going to be all one big piece. So, but you want to leave this part open for the front because this is where we're going to make our buttonholes. This is the front of our sweater, so obviously you want to keep that open. So I'm going to fold up these pieces here and set those aside, and then we will make our back side here. So I have the 4 pieces, the 4 panels out, and so this is panel 1, panel 2, oh, you know what, I think it's upside down actually, let's see here, 4, 8, 3, this isn't 3, this is 3, yep, it's upside down. I was like, what is up? Okay, so we have it like this. This is on this side, 4, 8, 3, 7, okay, no, I'm mixed up. But anyway, you want it to be your piece, your panels like this. I'm going to get them in order here. So you have your 4 panels like this, and then we're going to sew them this together, and this together. And once I have all 4 of these, all these 4 panels sewn together, then we're going to add the sleeves from on this side and then on that side. And then after all that is done, we can attach our back and our front. Alright, so this is what my back panel looks like. I just sewed all these panels together like this, and so I ended up, when the panels were separated, I had them all mixed up, so I had to reference my blueprint here, and I found the corresponding squares, so 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 9, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's our pattern, and that is what we have going on here. So all my squares are in the right spot, so this is what it looks like. And now I just need to add each side of the sleeves. So we need 5, 2, 3 on this side. So I have 5, 2, and 3 on this side, and I'm going to connect them to this one here, this top corner one here, and then 3, 2, 5, so opposites, we're gonna do on this opposite side. So 3, 2, 5, like that. Okay, so it's just opposite on that side. So that is what it's going to look like. So I'm going to sew those all together just like how we've been sewing, and then once that is all done, I did say earlier that we were going to connect the 2 pieces, but actually it's going to be much easier if we crochet a single crochet around both or all 3 pieces. So the 2 front panels and then this whole back panel, and I'll meet you back up and I'll show you how to do that. Alright, so I just sewed on my sleeves, so just these 3 on this side and then these 3 on this side, just like that, so it looks great. And we used up all of our squares with our 2 front panels and this panel here, so we're all done sewing all our squares together. But now, before going on to the next step of sewing the 2 front panels and the back panel together, I want to single crochet around all 3 pieces, okay? So I'm going to show you how to do that. We're just going to do a simple single crochet. Now if you need bigger sizes, if you want to make yours a bigger size, you can do half double crochet on this round, or you can do a double crochet on this round. Just adapt it to however you'd like. But I'm going to do single crochet because I don't need it to be that much bigger for myself. So go into, to single crochet around this piece, we want to start at the bottom side of our cardigan, okay? Any corner. So this corner or this corner, it doesn't matter which corner you start in, just start at the bottom and insert your hook into the corner, okay? And then pick up your main color yarn, which mine is black, whichever color that you outlined all your squares in, that is the color you want to hook on. So just hook that on your hook and pull that through. Okay, and then chain up 1 and make a single crochet in that same corner space right there. So insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, or make your own stitch if you're making half double crochets or double crochets. I'm just demonstrating with single crochets here. Now we want to single crochet in each of the next 3 stitches right here. 1, 2, 3. So just insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, in each of the next 3 stitches. Okay, then we're at the chain 1 space, so we're just going to put a single crochet in there. Then we're going to single crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. Okay, and then we're going to single crochet in the chain 1 space right there. And single crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. So you're just doing this along the side. One, 2, 3. And you can see that I'm single crocheting over this straggler piece so that that gets hidden so I don't have to sew that in later. Single crochet in the chain 1 space. Single crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. Single crochet in the chain 1 space. Single crochet in the next 3 stitches. And now we are at the point where our pieces are being sewed together. So this is a corner here, and then we're sewed this together here, and then there's the next corner here for the next square. So what we're going to do is put 2 single crochets into this corner space right here. So 1 and 2. Then hop over this sewed piece right here and jump over to this corner space right here for 2 more single crochets in there. 1 and 2. Then we're just going to repeat, so we're just going to put 1 single crochet in each of the next 3 single crochet, or these are half double crochets, so single crochet in the next 3 stitches there, then a single crochet in the chain 1 space, then a single crochet in the next 3 stitches, and then a single crochet in the chain 1 space, single crochet in the next 3 stitches, single crochet in the chain 1 space, single crochet in the next 3 stitches. So just do this all the way up and around this piece. I'll meet you up though when I get to the armpit area because there's a special stitch going on over there. And again, I'll show you right here. So now I'm moving on to the next square here. So this is the sewed area. So we have a corner space. So we're going to put 2 single crochet here. Jump over this sewed area and jump into this corner right here for 2 more single crochet. Okay, and then just work your next square. So just do that for all the squares. There should be 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 until you get to the armpit right here, which I will meet you up when I get right here so I can show you how to turn this corner to go up around the sleeve. So I'll meet you up when I get there. Alright, so I'm at the armpit area, so you can see here, I just have to put 1 more stitch in here. And then you can see this corner space, and this corner space. So what we're end up going to do is we're going to do a single crochet 3 together. So you're going to go once in this corner space, yarn over, pull through, then insert your hook into this corner space, yarn over, pull through, and then jump over to this corner space and yarn over and pull through. And then yarn over and pull through all 4 of those loops that are on your hook. And that is where the armpit, that's what we're doing in every armpit on all 3 panels. Okay, and then you can just continue working up the sleeve. We're just going to work like we have been on the side. So 1 single crochet in each of these 3 stitches, then a single crochet in the chain 1 space, then a single crochet in the 3 stitches, and then a single crochet in the chain 1 space. And when you get to the next square area, we're putting 2 single crochets in the corner, jumping over to the next corner and putting 2 single crochets in there, and then working on the next square. So just do that, and then when I get to the end of this sleeve up here, when we're turning this corner, I'll meet you up and I'll show you how to turn the corner to go along this edge of the sleeve, and then this corner here, and then this edge of the sleeve. So I'll meet you up when I get to that point. Alright, so I'm at this next corner here where my sleeve is. So in the corners, what we're going to do is we're going to put a single crochet, and then we're going to chain one, and then put a single crochet back into that same corner space. And then we're just going to go along this edge and do what we've been doing, putting one single crochet into each stitch, and then a single crochet in the chain one spaces, and then a single crochet in the next 3 stitches, and a single crochet in the chain one spaces. So I'm going to just follow along here because I'm going to show you again on this next corner. Just going to get there real quick. So I'm just single crocheting in the next 3 stitches, and then single crocheting in the chain one space. And now I'm at my last 3 stitches here on this side. 1, 2, 3. And now I'm at my next corner. I'm going to turn this around. There we go. So in this next corner, again, we're going to put 1 single crochet, then chain 1, and then put a single crochet back into that corner. And then just work this side. And this is all along the arm and the neck area, and then the other arm. And then once you get to the opposite arm, just do exactly what we did here for the opposite side. So when you get to that corner on the opposite side, you're going to put a single crochet, chain 1, single crochet in the 2 corners on the opposite side. And then we're going to also do that 3 single crochet 3 together in the other armpit. So do that all the way around. I'm going to meet you up then because you know how to do those things. So I'll meet you up then when I finish crocheting around this entire piece. Alright, so I'm just finishing up this round. I just single crocheted around this entire piece. And now in this corner, since we put our initial single crochet in the corner, we're just going to put 1 single crochet and then chain 1 and then slip stitch to the beginning single crochet that we made. Okay, so just insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, and pull tight. And then to fasten off, just chain up 1, grab your scissors, cut that, and pull that all the way through. Pull tight, grab your yarn needle, and sew in that end immediately so that you don't have to sew it in later. It just saves some time doing that. Okay, stretch it out, cut any extra, and your panel is complete. So now you want to make sure that you're seeing the wrong side, okay? You can tell kind of which side is the right side and which side is the wrong side. Your stitches will be upward. If you can see here, these stitches are kind of facing me, so that's your right side. And then if you look at the back side, those stitches are facing downward, so that's obviously the back side. So the back side and the front side look a little different on the edge, so you can tell which side is which. So make sure that your right side is down on that one. And before going on, you do want to single crochet around the 2 front panels. Okay, I did that off camera, so I have single crocheted along this edge here all the way around the front panel on both panels. So I have this panel done and this panel done. You're just going to single crochet around them just like you did the back side, where you're going to put the single crochet 3 together in the armpit, and then in the corners you're putting a single crochet, chain 1, and a single crochet in all the corners. So just make sure that you do that. And then also in the spaces where the two squares are connected, you want to put 2 single crochets in each of those corner spaces and hop over where it's sewed together. So just make sure that you do that. So once you single crochet, or if you have double crocheted or half double crocheted around the entire 3 pieces, now we're ready to sew it together. And the way we're going to do that is now you can decide if you want this side to be closed. So I'm going to slide this over so I can see here. So you can decide if you want to start at the bottom here and sew this all closed all the way up and then all the way to the end of the sleeve. Okay, so it's just this like L shape here. Okay, or you can go along with me and you're going to skip sewing these 3 squares, hop right to this part right here, because I'm going to have a slit in mine just for that detail and that fashion purpose. So the cardigan I saw online was shaped like that, where it had a slit on the sides. So I'm going to keep this part open, and then I'm going to attach where it needs to be attached. So this part right here, making sure that the bottom 3 on both sides, the bottom 3 squares on both sides are free. And then I'm going to grab my needle and insert it somewhere right here on this one and right here on this one. So kind of like where they're matching where this line is. We're just going to insert our needle, and I'm going to grab my yarn from the ball of yarn, okay, because we're just sewing from the ball, and we are just gonna whip stitch it like we did when we sewed these panels together. So super simple. I'm just going to pull up enough yarn so that I have enough. Okay, and then we're just going to whip stitch this. So I'm going to turn this a little bit so I can see my stitches. But we're just going to go in from this side, out this side, into the single crochets that we just made single crocheting around these panels. And we're going through both layers, so we sew them together. And it's that simple. So I'm just going to sew up this end here, all the way up to the armpit. And then once we get to the armpit, we're going to turn and we're going to sew the sleeve together on this edge, just this edge here. And then we're going to stop right here, and we are going to fasten off because we want our sleeve to be open so our hand can get through there, obviously. And then we're going to pick up our yarn right back up here, and we're going to sew across here until we hit this last square. This square is going to be loose, but we're going to sew until we get to here. So I am going to sew this together at this point, and then I'll meet you up when I have done this section, this armpit section here. Alright, once you come to the end here, I'm just finishing sewing this last section. Okay, and then to fasten off, I just kind of go and put it around like that, around my finger, and then I go around it and through this side, go in, and then pull tight. Okay, and then to sew in this end, we're just going to go to the inside of our cardigan there, and just kind of go into some of the stitches like this to sew in that end. Okay, and then you can stretch it out, cut off any extra, and that is hidden in there. Okay, so there we have this section, and now we have to just fasten off this part here with the piece that's attached to the ball. So you can cut that short, grab your yarn needle, yarn your needle with that straggler right there, and to do the same thing, we're just going to go around into there, put a finger in that loop, grab that, there we go, oops. We'll just kind of repeat what we did. Okay, so then I'm back around, and then I'm going to go back around this loop, go back in through it, and then pull tight. Okay, and then I'm going to open this up and go into the stitches from the inside so that it is hidden, just like that. Then I'm going to stretch that out and cut that little extra piece, and that's all sewn in and hidden. So there we have it. So this side is all done, so I just sewed this piece right here and right here. Okay, so now what I have to do is sew this top part. So what we're going to do, I'm going to bring this closer here, we're going to start at this part of the sleeve. Okay, you don't want to sew this closed because your arm and your hand have to get through here. Okay, so we're going to start at this corner, and we're just going to basically do kind of like what we did for this bottom section here. So yarn your needle, and we're just whip stitching. We're just going to go into the corner. You can go into the chain 1 space or the corner right there, and then the chain 1 space or corner right here. Okay, and just pull up a bunch of yarn from the ball of yarn, and then just whip stitch all the way across, and I'll tell you where you need to end here. So just whip stitch this first square, the second square, the third square, and the fourth square, okay? But leave this square unworked and these 2 back squares unworked, okay? Then once you come to this point right here, I will meet you up and we'll fasten off, and then we'll work on the other panel. Alright, so at this point you want to leave this last square unworked, because this is where our neck, our collar is going to be. But you can go in, you know, 3 or 4 stitches, okay? Because that seemed kind of big to me, so I'm going to just go in and do a few more whip stitches over these last few stitches on this square. So I'm leaving the square unworked, but I am working, or I'm leaving majority of the square unworked, and I'm working just these corner stitches. So I just sewed over, I guess, just this corner here. So you can do that, or you can leave it all unworked. If you want a bigger neck, it really does not matter. But to fasten off, like I've showed you already, just go through the stitches, keep your finger in there to pull up that loop, go around it, and pull tight. Okay, then we can sew that end in just by yarning our needle, going in from the inside, and just going through where we just sewed it. Just go underneath the stitches. Just like that. Stretch it out, cut any extra, and then go back to the end of the sleeve here where the ball is attached to, and cut that off. Grab your yarn needle, and I've shown this to you already also. Just go through the stitches, hold your finger in there, go back around and pull tight, then go back in from underneath on the inside of your sleeve, sew in that end, and then stretch that out, cut any extra, and our sleeve is done. So this side is all complete, so you can put your arm in it if you want, make sure it fits, looks awesome. Okay, so now we are going to do the same exact thing we did on this side with this part here and then this top part here, leaving this unworked. We are going to do that to this side now. So make sure that your wrong side is on the facing inward, so the two wrong sides are facing each other. Okay, so your right side is facing out like this. Line it up to your squares, and we want to start then right here, leaving these three unworked, and then just line these up right here, and sew from these two up and then across here, and then fasten off, and then sew from here all the way to here, leaving this one unworked. I'm gonna work inward about this corner, so about to right here on this last square, and then I'm gonna fasten off. So once this whole panel is on and attached, then I'll meet you back up and we will work on, then we have to work on the collar, we have to work on the cuffs for the sleeves, we have to work on the buttonhole section here, and any other embellishment. So I'll meet you back up when this whole side is completely attached. Alright, so I just whip stitched this all together. So I started here, did this whole section here, and then I did this whole section here, and like I said, I was going to go over a few of those stitches on this last square, so I just did that corner just like how I did this side, just the few stitches onto this last corner here, or this last square here. So this is what we have, so you can, try it on at this point and see how it fits and see how it works out. And now we just need to make the collar and the sleeves and then the buttonhole area here, the front panel right here. So it's super simple from here on out. So let's start with the collar. So grab your piece and you want to grab your main color. Okay, and we're going to look at it from the outside. Okay, so we're looking at our piece on the outside here. And we're going to start in this corner and work our way around this corner here all the way through the back and then up around to this corner here, and then we're working in rows and making it long, and then we're going to make it super long, and then it's going to be folded down and attached so that it doesn't open. So let's get your main color, which is your outline color of the squares, so mine is black. And then insert it into the chain 1 space of the corner here that you made, right in there. Attach the yarn just by hooking it on your hook and pulling it through, chaining up 1. And now for the collar, we're going to be making it with half double crochets. So a half double crochet is a yarn over, go into that same stitch, so that same corner space, then yarn over and pull through, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. Okay, that's a half double crochet, and we're going to be making half double crochets in each stitch all the way across this side here. So just a half double crochet is the yarn over, go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. Okay, I'll show you again. Yarn over, go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. And you can see I'm working over the straggler here so I don't have to sew it in later. So that's nice, so you can do the same. So just half double crochet into each stitch. Now at this point, I mean, it is creator's choice. I am going to be making this super tall and then folding it down, but you can make the collar however large you want it to be. So it's really creator's choice. You can make it super short, you can make a hood on this, just continuing working rows and then sewing up the top and kind of like folding it in half. And but I'm not making a hood, I'm just gonna make a collar kind of thing, like a cowl style. So just do a half double crochet into each stitch. I'm trying to get to this next corner piece because we are doing a decrease over the corners to make it round. So once you get to here, you see there's our last stitch on this square and then the first stitch on this square. We're going to make a half double crochet 2 together. So yarn over, go into this stitch on this square, then yarn over and pull through, and then go directly into the next stitch, which is on this next square here. and then yarn over and pull through, and then yarn over and pull through all 4 loops on your hook. Okay, that is what we're going to do every time we get to this section here. Okay, every time we get from this front panel to the back panel, that's what we're going to do. And then we're just going to continue working now across the back piece. So now we are on the back side, which is these 2 panels here, and we are just putting 1 half double crochet into each stitch, just like so. Okay, so I'm just going to get across to the other panel, so I'm going to go do a half double crochet into each stitch on the back side, and then once I get to the front panel I'll show you how to do that decrease again, and we'll go on to the next row. Alright, so I'm coming up onto the next corner here where we want to make our decrease. So what we have to do is see the last stitch on this corner, okay, and then the last stitch on this square, and then the first stitch on this square, and we're going to decrease over those 2. So yarn over, go in, yarn over, pull through, go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 4 loops on your hook. Okay, so then now that is decreased into 1. And then just continue working your half double crochets all the way across this piece until you get to the chain 1 space of the corner on this square that we are working on, and then we can chain up and go on to the next row, which I'll show you right here. Just continue watching. Okay, so I just have a few more stitches. Alright, so you see here there's the chain 1 space right there, so we're just going to go in and make our half double crochet. Now we're just going to chain 1 and turn your work, so now you're looking at the inside of our coat, like this. Okay, and now we're going to work across here. But when we come to this point here, where you can see that the corner is made over these 2 stitches, we are making a decrease over those 2. So I'm going to get there and then I'll show you what I mean. So just put 1 half double crochet into each stitch until you get to that point, and I'll meet you up and we'll do a decrease together. Alright, so I'm coming up on the stitches that I need to decrease over, this last stitch here and then this stitch here. So now I'm going to yarn over, go into this first one, then yarn over, pull through, and go directly into the next one, and then yarn over and pull through, and then yarn over and pull through all 4 loops, just like that. And then we're just going to put a regular half double crochet into each of the stitches on the back panel here that I'm working on right now, and then once we get way over here you can see the decrease is over here, so we're going to put this stitch and this stitch and we're going to make a decrease over those 2. So I'm going to get over there and I'll meet you up and we'll do that decrease together. Alright, so I'm coming up on those 2 stitches that I need to decrease over, so you can see right here, you can see that it is our half double crochet decrease from the previous round right there. So we're going to put these 2 stitches into 1. So just yarn over, go into this next stitch, yarn over, pull through, go right into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through all 4 loops on your hook. And then just put a regular half double crochet in the rest of the stitches on this row, and then I'll meet you up and we'll go on to the next row of the collar. Alright, so I'm going on to the next row. Just chain up 1 and turn your work. So now we're looking at the outside of our cardigan. And now we're going to half double crochet in the first 16 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16, and that is where we have to do our decrease, and you can see our decrease from the previous round is right there. So we are going to do our half double crochet decrease. So yarn over, go into this next stitch, yarn over, pull through, go directly into the next stitch and yarn over and pull through, and then yarn over and pull through all 4 loops on your hook. So we just decreased again, and now we're just going to put a regular half double crochet in the rest of this, in the next few, well, the whole back area until we get to this stitch here. Until we get to our next decrease stitch from our previous row, we are going to do a decrease over that. So I'll meet you up when we get to that point. Alright, so I'm going to go on to row 4, and this is now our repeat. Just chain up 1 and turn your work, and then just half double crochet across. There's no more decreasing at this point, and we are going to repeat that for rows. We're doing a repeat of row 4 for rows 5 through 12. So we're going to have a total of 12 rows for our collar. If you want more or less, that is totally creator's choice, but I'm going to do 12 rows, and at this point we do not have to decrease anymore, so we are just going to put a half double crochet in each stitch across, then chain up 1, turn the work, and half double crochet in each stitch across for rows 4 through 12. So just do that, and I will meet you up when I finish row 12, and we'll fasten off and fold it over, and then we'll make our sleeves. Alright, so I'm at the point where I have my decrease from the previous round, so now I'm going to half double crochet these 2 stitches together. So yarn over, go in, yarn over, pull through, go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through all 4 loops. And then just half double crochet in the rest of the stitches on this row. This is row 3 of the collar, so I will meet you up when we go on to row 4. Alright, so once you've finished row 12, or however many rows you want to make this, just fasten off. So what I do is just chain up 1, and I'm going to actually cut my yarn a little bit longer because I'm going to tack this down. So just cut it like 6 inches or something, and just continue pulling that through. Okay, and then pull tight. And then what we're going to do is tack this down. So we're going to fold this in half. Okay, so you can see the collar, and we're going to tack this down to here. Okay, and I'm going to tack this side down to here. Okay, just folding it over, and I'm going to use this straggler here that I cut, and all I'm going to do is just go into the stitch like that and out the stitch like that, and then back in, and I'm going to tie it off on the inside. And to tie it off, I just go around a stitch, hold that loop, and then go back around inside of it, pull tight, and then I'm just going to sew in this end underneath these stitches here. And I'm just going to cut that, stretch it out so that's hidden, and that's tacked down. That's creator's choice. You don't have to do that, but I did. So, and then I just want to do that to the other side as well. So, but this doesn't have a straggler piece, so I have to grab an extra piece of yarn and just yarn my needle, and then I'm going to go in from the inside this time, out to the outside, into this stitch, and then through this stitch. Okay, and then at this point I'm actually going to tie a knot. So I'm going to take these 2 ends, tie a little knot twice or 3 times, up to you, and then just take these 2 strands, yarn my needle, and then sew those in underneath the stitches, just like that. Okay, and then trim that, stretch it out, so that's all hidden. So there's our collar. So that's what our collar is going to look like. Okay, I love it. It's awesome. So now we're going to work on the sleeves. So continue with using your main color yarn, which in my case is black, and grab a sleeve, a cuff, and we are going to decrease and make this tighter so it fits around our wrist. So let me grab my black here and my crochet hook. Now you want to start where the armpit is on this bottom line here, where we sewed the two squares together here. We are going to start on this bottom part here. So start right here. Oh, we're going to go on this right side here. Okay, and we're going to grab our yarn, hook it on our hook, and we're ready to go. Chain up 1. And now we're going to start off by making a single crochet decrease over these first 2 stitches. So insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, jump over this sewed area and go to this next single crochet right here. Okay, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. Okay, that's a single crochet decrease. And now we are going to single crochet in each stitch until we get to this other side where we sewed this side together. Okay, so we're just single crocheting along each one of these single crochets here, not doing any decreasing until we get to the other side where our 2 squares are sewn together. So I'm going to single crochet across here and I'll meet you up when I get there. Alright, at this point I have these 2 stitches here. Oh, no, not this one. There we go. So this stitch right here, the single crochet here, we're going to insert our hook, yarn over, pull through, jump over this sewn area, and jump right into this next single crochet right here, and then yarn over and pull through, if I can, there we go, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. So we just decreased over this sewn area here. Now we're just going to single crochet into each stitch for the rest of this round, and then I'll meet you up and we'll go on to round 2 together of the cuff. Alright, I'm just finishing up this round here, and now we want to slip stitch to the beginning single crochet decrease right here. So just insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, and pull through. Okay, so now we're going on to round 2 of the cuff. We're going to chain up 1. We're going to decrease over these first 2 stitches. So insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, go directly into the next stitch, and then yarn over and pull through, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on your hook. That's a single crochet decrease. And now we're just going to single crochet until we get to our next decreased, and we're going to decrease over that. So I'm just going to single crochet until I get there, and then I'll show you how to do that decrease, and we'll go on to the next step. Alright, so I'm coming up on this area here. You can see our single crochet decrease right there. So what we're going to do is we're going to single crochet all the way up until we get to that stitch. Okay? Then once we get to that stitch, we're going to insert our hook, yarn over, pull through, go directly into the next stitch, and then yarn over and pull through, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on your hook, and then just single crochet in each of the rest of the stitches on this round, and then I'll meet you up and we'll go on to round 3 of the cuff together. Alright, so I'm just coming up on the end here. Once you get to your last stitch, you're just going to slip stitch in the first single crochet decrease of this round. So just insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, and pull through. And now round 3 of the cuff is exactly the same as round 2. So just chain up 1, decrease, single crochet over these first 2 stitches, then single crochet until you get to the next decrease stitch, and then do a single crochet decrease over that, and then single crochet in the rest of the stitches around and slip stitch to the beginning. So it's super simple. Just repeat what we did for the last round for round 3, and then I'll meet you up and we'll go on to round 4 together. Alright, so I'm just back to the beginning here, so we just want to slip stitch to the beginning single crochet decrease of this round. Just insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, and pull through. And then chain up 1, and round 4 of the cuff is just like how we've been working our pattern. So decrease over the first 2 stitches, then single crochet, a regular single crochet in each of the stitches until you get to the next decrease stitch, which is on the other side of this sleeve. And then do a single crochet decrease over that, and then single crochet in each of the rest of the stitches on this round. And then I'll meet you up in round 5. Our last round is a different type of decrease, so I'll meet you up when I finish this round and I'm going on to round 5, and we'll do round 5 together. Alright, so we just want to slip stitch to the beginning of this round after we finish round 4. So now we're going to go on to round 5 of the sleeve, or of the cuff here. So chain up 1, and now what we're going to do is we're going to decrease every other stitch. So do a single crochet decrease over this first 2 stitches here. So insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. And then just put a regular single crochet in the next stitch. So just insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Okay, and we're going to just repeat that all the way around. So decrease over these 2 stitches, and then just a regular single crochet in the next. Okay, so decrease, and then a regular single crochet in the next. So decrease, and then a regular single crochet in the next, and we're just doing this all the way around. It'll give us a nice tighter fit around our wrist, and then I'll meet you up then when we finish this round and we can go on to making our buttonhole pattern or panels. Alright, so I'm just finishing round 5 here. I'm just going to slip stitch to the beginning single crochet decrease of this round. Just slip stitch there and fasten off. So chain up 1, cut the yarn, pull that through, pull tight, sew in this end. Now for round 5 for the cuff was kind of creator's choice. If you don't want it this tight around the wrist, you don't have to, you can just skip doing round 5 and just do round 4. But that's totally your choice. I wanted a little bit tighter around my wrist, so I did round 5. But you can do whichever way you want, or you can continue your rounds and make this even longer, so it's totally up to you. Also, just sew in this end and then just do the other sleeve exactly the same way. If you need to, just rewind this segment and do the other sleeve the same way, and then once you finish the next sleeve or the next cuff, then I will meet you up and we will do the buttonholes. Alright, so I have my sleeves done, so this is what my cuffs look like. They look awesome. So now we have to make the buttonholes for the front here. So what we're going to do is you want the buttonholes to be on your right side. Okay, so it's going to be on this side. Since we're looking at it from the front, we want the buttonholes to be on this side here. Can you see that? The right side? Yes. Okay. So now we're just going to turn this like this, and I'm going to work from the bottom up. Okay? So working from this bottom corner here, and I'm working up the work to the collar there. Okay? So we just want to attach our yarn into this chain 1 space of the corner. Okay, pick up our yarn here and just hook it on the hook, pull it through, and chain up 1. And this is a super simple part here. We're just going to single crochet in each stitch until we get to the sewn part areas here, and I'll show you what to do. So I'm just going to single crochet into each stitch, and I'm single crocheting over my straggler, as you can see. I'm sure you know how to do single crochets now because we did a few of them in the cuff of the sleeves. So I'm just going to single crochet until I get to this part here, and then I'll meet you up at that point. Alright, so I'm at this point here. You want to just skip the next 3 stitches here that go over this sewn area, and we're going to chain 3, so 1, 2, 3, and skip those 3 stitches and go into the 4th stitch there for a single crochet. Okay, so that our buttonhole is made. It is that simple, and that's our whole side now. So I'm just gonna, you can watch me until I get to the next one here. I'm just gonna go a little bit quicker, and I'm just going to make my single crochets into each stitch on this square, and then once I get to the part where it is sewn together to the next square, I'm going to chain 3. Oh, see? Here it is right here. So we're going to skip 1, 2, and 3, and we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. So skip over those ones and then just single crochet into the next stitch and each stitch until you get to the next part, the next I guess black area here, like this on this side here. So I'm going to jump all the way over to here, and I'm going to skip those 3 stitches and just single crochet into the rest of the stitches. So you should have, let me see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then our 6th buttonhole will be way up here. So 6 buttonholes in total, and I'll meet you up then when I finish my last buttonhole. Alright, for the last buttonhole, I'm just chaining 3 at this point, and I'm going to skip these last 3 stitches, and where we tacked in this piece here, I'm just going to slip stitch right in there, so yarn over, pull through, and pull through, and then I'm going to slip stitch up into this part here of the collar. So just insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, and pull through. Okay, and then we're going to fasten off, so I'm just going to chain 1 and cut my yarn, and then continue pulling, and pull that through and pull tight. Okay, and then I'm going to get my yarn needle and sew that end in real quick, just on the inside here. Just so that's hidden like that. Cut any extra, stretch it out so it's all hidden, and there you have it. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 buttonholes. So now we just have to sew on our buttons on the opposite side in the corresponding spots. So it's really simple because all you have to do is just sew them right to this middle section here. And I got these awesome buttons on the Etsy shop, Would Be Fancy. I'll put their link in the description of this video so you can get these buttons on there if you want these exact buttons. If these buttons are not on the shop, you can always write, and if you want to make, or you can always like request a custom order, but these are the buttons I'm using. So I'm just going to place my button where it needs to be, and then just take my yarned needle and go from the inside to the outside through the buttonhole, and then back through to the inside, just like that. And then I'm going to cut my yarn and tie a knot. I'm going to tie it pretty tight, and I'm going to do 3 knots, just like that, and then I'm going to sew in those ends. So just do that for all the buttons. We're just going to place them all where they need to be. Sew on your buttons, and then I'll meet you up when my buttons are all sewed on. Alright, so there you have it. I just sewed on all of my buttons and they line up really nicely with the buttonholes, so you can button your piece closed or leave it open. But these are just fantastic buttons. They are handmade, and some of them, like these ones specifically on the shop, are hand painted and just absolutely lovely. It's a nice finishing touch to this piece. Now you are absolutely finished with this piece actually, so congratulations on making your Gigi cardigan. It's so beautiful. Here we have it. So thank you so much for watching and learning how to make this piece. Always remember, you can check out the links in the description of this video. I'll have a link to the blog where you can find out where to get the written pattern for this, along with all the information you need if you want to make it bigger, smaller, or how much yarn you need, or all that good stuff. All the information, if you have any questions, it will be in the blog, so check out that link. Also check out the link to my Facebook. Make sure to join me on Facebook, and if you make this, oh my gosh, I would love, like absolutely love, love, love to see your photos of this, because this was so much fun to make. It was hard work and it's just absolutely beautiful. So yes, if you make a photo, or if you make this, take a photo of it and show me, because I would definitely love to see your work, and I will share it with everybody on the page too. So also check out the link to my Instagram. Be sure to follow me on Instagram, like my photos, and check out this photo of me in this beautiful sweater so you can see me in that. And also check out my Snapchat. I'll put the username, my username for YARNutopia, in the description of this video, so you can follow me on Snapchat, follow me everywhere, and subscribe to my channel here on YouTube, so click that red subscribe button. Also, I'd like to ask you to go to my channel here on YouTube, and on the right hand side there is a blue button that says support. Click that button and support us, please, so that we can keep bringing you fantastic crochet tutorials. But thank you so much for watching. Happy hooking, everybody!